Hear about the jobs numbers, but behind these jobs numbers are individual human beings. Two women among the millions tell the story of why we are here today. My fellow Texan and Austinite Ann Danish is an older worker who lost her white-collar job when the small business that she was an executive in tanked, and she was one of 88 people who lost all opportunity in that business when it shut down. Without extended unemployment benefits, she says she would have been unable to afford prescriptions and unable to keep a roof over her head in making her mortgage payments. Dawn Dean is a single mom who cares for a 9-year-old in Philadelphia. She is a human resources executive with decades of experience. She knows something about how to find a job because that's what her work has been. But she's been unable to find a job in this market, and she also relies on unemployment benefits to put food on the table and keep a roof over her family's head. She became unemployed in June. If she has to depend only on state benefits in Philadelphia, she will, about the end of this year, have no unemployment insurance coverage and no means to provide for her family as she continues an active and very sophisticated job search. With more than 4 unemployed Americans for every 1 job opening, the problem we have in America today of joblessness is not the lack of willingness to find or wanting to find work, it's lack of work. And unfortunately, some Republicans continue to blame unemployment on the unemployed. Congress has never permitted extended unemployment benefits to expire when the unemployment rate was anywhere close to the current 9.1%. If we fail to act, as the chart demonstrates, people like Ann and Dawn, in fact, a total of 2 million Americans who've lost their jobs will lose their unemployment coverage by the middle of February. That's 124,000 in my home state of Texas. And by the end of 2012, as the red bar almost drops off the chart, more than 6 million Americans will have lost their benefits. That's why today all of us here and a number of our colleagues are introducing legislation to do 2 things. One is to preserve during calendar year 2012 extended unemployment coverage for those who are out actively seeking a new job. And the second is to provide some assistance to the states that are grappling during these tough economic times with maintaining their own unemployment insurance programs. During this 1 year, the states would be relieved from their interest payments on federal loans, and a moratorium would be applied to prevent any increase in federal unemployment taxes for employers in those states with outstanding loans, so long as the states maintain the current level of assistance to those who are out looking for work. According to preliminary estimates, these provisions would stop about $5 billion in tax hikes on employers in nearly 24 states and would provide about $1.5 billion in interest relief. In those states that don't have that problem, there would be some benefit in the way that their interest earnings are calculated so that they would also have some gain. There is near unanimity among economists of all stripes. On the one hand, on the other hand, economists, they all come together with both hands behind the belief that when it comes to unemployment insurance, there are a few things that have greater economic stimulative effect. A recent estimate from the Urban Institute says that every dollar the federal government spends in federal unemployment insurance like that would be provided in this bill generates almost $2 of economic growth. Since the unemployed, people like those that I mentioned, they've got to go out and spend the money for necessities like food and health care and housing. We must certainly continue striving to encourage economic growth and more job creation, but for those who do not have a job, we must also preserve a lifeline, and that's what today's legislation is about. I believe our colleague, Mr. Rangel.